What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 39 of Battle Talk, a Blizzard podcast where we talk about pretty much everything that Blizzard makes and or does. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me, as usual, is this guy. A deer in headlights look.
Oh, hi.
Really creepy deer in headlights look. Hi, Dom.
How's it going?
It's good. How you doing?
Pretty good, and yourself?
I'm good. I got an intro right, Dom?
Yeah, for once.
Okay.
Can,
And now it's downhill from here.
can I blink now?
Yeah, you can blink now.
Okay.
Good man. So, another week. It's just the two of us. Mentioning something about that, Cody's going to be taking a slight leave of absence to focus on schoolwork. So he'll be having a slightly less active role, but you'll still see his face every now and then, co-hosting here, but get your grades in order.
Yeah. I mean, I respect that.
Yeah, exactly. I perfectly 100% am okay with that. You know, it's for a good reason to get, to focus on schoolwork. It's not like he's moving to Thailand to focus on creating the perfect strain of opium or something like that. The analogy creating center of my brain is not working right now.
Never mind.
So PAX East was this weekend, previous.
Oh my god.
Stuff. We got a lot of stuff.
It was so much. I was really excited. I went on the PAX Twitch. I was on there right away, and then I was like, wait. Isn't the Blizzard? I was like, it was on the PAX 2 channel or whatever, and yeah, I watched it all live. It was great.
Yeah, it was actually pretty fantastic. And because of that and all the information we got for everything that is not World of Warcraft, we're going to get to that first because that stuff is more exciting in my opinion. So, Overwatch. We knew, exactly, right? We knew we were going to get some info. We've been talking about it for a couple weeks now, excited. And here's what we got. So, PAX East info. There's a new map called Watchpoint Gibraltar. It is a payload delivery map.
It looked really cool because we get to see, your team comes in and it moves, whatever. If your team's away from it, it backs up, which is weird because why would the payload just back up like that? But I mean, from a gameplay perspective, it makes sense. From an actual physical, it doesn't really make very much sense. But
Right,
I like it. I still like the concept of it.
I like the
It looked
concept
like a
too.
pretty short area in which to travel too. It didn't look like, because they showed the whole path of it, and it didn't look obnoxiously long or anything like that. So it seems like it goes around maybe 2 or 3 bends, and then so it's not like it's winding through a whole map. It's not like it doesn't even seem as long as some of the minecart tracks in the Silver Shard Mines Battleground. It seems a lot shorter than some of those.
Right, and it's probably why they have the payload going backwards if it's unattended, because it is such a short path.
Yeah.
I mean, most Team Fortress payload maps, they don't go backwards, but some of them are obnoxiously long.
Right.
Also, we got some info on 2 new heroes that are going into the game.
My new favorite.
One of them is on the poster behind me, just wasn't announced, and the other one is completely new, so we'll start with her. And that is Zarya.
She's pretty badass looking.
She is pretty badass looking. Apparently, she is the world's strongest woman. Agreed, yeah. And Zarya is a tank. That's going to be her specialty. And her ultimate is Gravity Well, which pulls all enemies it affects towards its center, trapping them and dealing damage over time.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just watching her was pretty badass running around, and I don't normally play tanks or whatever, so I'll give her a try. I'm not always a fan, but
I'm gonna give them all a try. But
yeah, but the other one that they announced is more my style.
right, we'll get to him in a second. Zarya is going to be a tank with a couple of supporty-esque abilities. One is with a shield she puts on herself, and another is a shield she could put on a friendly, which also buffs her weapon damage while it persists. And then her ultimate, the Gravity Well. And now the other person that Dom is talking about. Hi, Zarya. by Zarya, is McCree.
Mm-hmm.
McCree is an outlaw gunslinger, and he has a ranged DPS I would never have guessed. He melees with a revolver. He doesn't shoot the revolver, he beats you over the head with the butt of the gun. He really doesn't. He has, his trusty 6-shooter, which apparently it says, he can fan the hammer to rapidly fire it. Mm-hmm. A roll which causes him to reload during the roll and sends him forward a little bit. I blanked out on his other ability, but his ultimate is called Deadeye. And his ability where he focuses for a few seconds, then unloads every round in his Peacekeeper into all targets in his line of sight. Instantly killing them, mind you. Right, and the lower health they have, the quicker it will affect that target.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they said it's probably overpowered, and almost all of their ultimates are extremely overpowered. And it just seemed like McCree's got everybody on screen, as long as they're on screen. So if they duck behind a crate, if they walk behind a building, it's not going to affect them. But it's anybody that's on the screen at the time, as it... I forget, what does it take? 3 or 4 seconds?
It was a pretty decent amount. I think it was 3 seconds. It may have been 4. It's a decent amount of time, so it gives you time to get to cover, or I assume he could be killed out of it.
Yep.
So it gives you a decent amount of time to counter it. I mean...
Yeah, it's just anybody that's on the screen for those 3 or 4 seconds, they're gone.
Right.
They're obliterated. One shot, dead.
And all the ultimates are pretty overpowered in some sense. Like Tracer, she sticks you with a sticky bomb, you and anybody close to you die instantly. Right. Hanzo, he shoots that big dragon arrow thing that pierces through every wall in front of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's, there's plenty of crazy ultimates out there.
People in chat are commenting on his belt buckle. Can you go back and is his belt buckle in that picture?
His belt buckle. Oh, it says Banff.
Badass motherfucker.
Well played, Blizzard. Mm-hmm. Well played. Mm-hmm. So that's what we get from that. And
but the biggest news of them all.
Oh, I can't believe I almost forgot this. I didn't forget it. I was going to cover it at the end of the section. But the biggest news of all, open beta this fall.
Yep.
So does that mean...
It's a lot sooner than people thought. It's the open beta, so...
That's open beta. That doesn't mention closed or alpha or anything that comes before it.
Mm-hmm.
No word on when that's going to happen. If it ever happens.
If it's not already happening.
If it's not already happening. But yeah, that's exciting. I'm actually kind of happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So they did say at Blizzard, at BlizzCon, that this was coming sooner than you think, and for announcing a new IP and then pretty much less than a year later having it go into open beta, that's pretty... But they did that with Hearthstone, though, right? So...
Yeah.
Blizzard's doing good at this. Way to go. I'm excited. I can't wait to play it. But, there was something that came up, especially when they released Zarya. Well, when they announced, Zarya and stuff. There's, opinions going around, like, good job, Blizzard, for putting in more realistic-looking heroes. Basically, like... someone who said it in the chat, Wow Blink Twice says, his girlfriend says it's good on Blizzard to break standards and not have a mini skinny boobalicious girl.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And they also said that they're going to be looking into not just body types, but also, not just gender and gender and body types, but races as well. So it's good to see that they're representing the because that's perfect for a game like Overwatch, because you have a giant ensemble cast. Mm-hmm. And it seems right. It seems right, because this is supposed to be everybody from all over the world coming together and saving the world, and so if you have people from all over the world, you're gonna have that diversity. So.
Yep. And I was kind of shocked with Zarya. I was expecting to get news about one of the other two people in the poster here, either the really tall, chubby guy with the pyro mask, the gas mask.
The samurai.
I'm calling him Cyber Ninja.
He still looks like Raiden from
yeah.
from
Metal Gear
Metal
Solid.
Gear Solid 2.
I,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go there. I'm just going to stick with Cyber Ninja.
No, he's riding.
Okay, fine. He's right. Anyway, a good amount of Overwatch. I believe it was playable on the floor at PAX for people who may not have ever had their hands on it before. And, well, open beta coming. But that's really about it. Good amount of info. Need more. Thank you.
Yep.
There's a really large vehicle going by, and I can't figure out what the hell it is. Anyway.
It's a vehicle.
Yeah. Hearthstone.
But.
Or
Ooh.
Butt.
Okay.
Okay, Hearthstone. The Marched ranked season card back is Ragnaros themed. We mentioned that last week. Here it is really quick. Yay, shiny. And now moving on. Blackrock Mountain has officially been announced, like we thought it was with the leak. It is going to be a Hearthstone adventure, very much like the Curse of Naxxramas. A lot of fun shit in there. Would they say 31 new cards?
What was it?
Would they say 31 new cards?
Yes, 31, which is one more than we got out of Naxxramas.
They're one.
So, to me, it just seems like they haven't. It's hard to say because it's not out yet, so we don't really know. But it seems like they haven't improved on the formula very much from the original adventure. Right?
Okay.
So it's going to be 5 wings, and at the end of each fight, we're going to get a card, and then at the end of each wing, we're going to get a card, right?
Right.
And then they're going to have the class challenges and all that. So we're still getting cards that way. So to me, it seems identical to what Curse of Naxxramas is. It's just a different setting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really disappointed here with Blackrock Mountain because it's so small. It's only 5 wings.
Okay.
And they said 17 bosses, I think it was. And
yes.
If we're only gonna have 17 bosses, why throw so many instances together? They're giving us BRD, they're giving us Upper Blackrock Spire, Molten Core, and Blackwing Lair.
Right.
And then the 5th one is some secret lair or something, a secret lab or something it's called. So I'm assuming that's going to be Blackwing Descent.
Or something they haven't released at all yet, like Black Nefarian's Secret Laboratory.
Yeah, but we just had an entire adventure dedicated to Naxxramas alone.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting half done Molten Core, half done, or not even a quarter of Molten Core, a quarter of Blackwing Lair. I would have rather them taken Molten Core and Blackwing Lair, right? Which is, I think it's about 16 or 17 bosses between the two of them, and just give us just those two. And I feel like there's such potential for some of these adventures that you don't need to cram them all into. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see how it plays out, but just my initial reaction is I'm actually kind of disappointed by it.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed that they would cram, especially a couple of iconic instances like Molten Core into such, like you said, half-complete packages. But
yeah,
I don't know. Hearthstone's been good so far. I'm gonna trust their developers' judgment on this one.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a quality product when it comes out.
I mean, the cool thing that I'm looking forward to is the fact that they're going to make dragons actually do something in this expansion, because previously all we've had are big dragons like Onyxia or Nefarian and stuff like that, and there's no synergy between any of them, and there's no way to build like a dragon-themed deck. But this time there definitely is. There's stuff that, like, if you're holding onto a dragon, it'll buff you, or you summon minions and things like that. So it's got potential. There's even one that is buffed if you're holding a dragon. So when you play it, it gains. I don't remember the exact stats or whatever. What we'll end up doing is because the adventure's coming out next month. Right. It's really soon. So as it comes out, we'll go over the cards as they're released, like we did for Naxxramas.
We actually have 7 right now. If you want to go over them real quick.
No, we'll do them. We'll do them as the wing goes.
Okay, no problem.
We'll save them because I don't know what's going to get released with what and whatnot, but the one card is Rend, which I thought was the coolest, Rend Blackhand. I'm just going to say right now, when you battle cry him, if you're holding a dragon, he destroys any legendary minion that's on the board. It's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll go over all those in depth and their mana costs and all that, and whether they're worth it and what kind of decks and stuff you could put them in. They're slowly doing the reveal, but I'd rather just do them as the wings are released, like we did last time. That seemed to be a good format.
Yeah, I agree. That works for me.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll have to see it when it comes out, but I'm still looking forward to it. I'm just kind of disappointed in them. They're cramming everything. I know that for BRD, we're gonna fight in the Grim Guzzler, we're gonna fight in the arena, and then we're gonna fight the Emperor. And the Grim Guzzler seemed kind of cool because I guess the hero power on it is 0 cost, and every turn for normal mode, it puts 1 minion from his deck and 1 minion from your deck onto the battlefield. So obviously, you're going to want to, when you're building a deck to fight this, because you're not going to use just normal decks. You're going to be using specially made decks that you build for these things.
Especially for the heroic modes of them.
100% for the heroic modes. So you're going to want to put a bunch of high cost minions in there. Anything that's going to, you're not going to summon it, you're going to have to put some smaller minions. You're probably going to want spells. Put a lot of spells in too to get in your hand. That way you keep drawing spells, and then the hero power will keep putting minions on the board. But for the heroic mode, it puts out 2 of his minions and 1 of yours. So
that's where you're going to have to build a specific...
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of board clear.
Easy thing I already thought of is Kel'Thuzad. You're going to want Kel'Thuzad, because if you put Kel'Thuzad into play, he summons everything that dies on that turn, on your turn or whatever. So if you get Kel'Thuzad out with a bunch of other minions and they die, they're just going to keep coming back, and you're going to be able to overpower them really quickly. So it's things like that that are going to be kind of cool, but it leaves potential. So, I mean, I got to see how it's done, because there's going to be a lot of cards that are not usable in your deck that are still going to be in the expansion, so the Grim Guzzler, for example. Guarantee we're going to be seeing a lot of other creatures that are in BRD. Probably some of the other bosses may even be cards. That's not to say, because you're not going to get them to be able to use in your deck, but that's not to say they won't be in the adventure themselves. So
right, like you'll probably
get like that. So I got to see how they play it.
You'll probably get some of my favorite named mobs. You'll get Phalanx, the bouncer, Ribley Screw Spigot, the goblin part of a quest. I don't know what the hell he is, a mercenary, and Plugger Spazring, the bartender.
Yep, and I
remember them.
I know later this week we're supposed to be able to get the pre-order. You'll be able to pre-order the cards.
March 19th, I think they said pre-order starts.
Yep, so 8-9 days from now. The 10th, so 9 days from now. But the thing that really kind of bugs me about it is, number one, there's no free wing, which that's okay. That I don't mind so much. I can understand that one. But the pre-order, you can't pre-order with gold. You can only pre-order with real money. So I think it's like $25 or something like that, or $20. I don't know, 26.
But when it releases, you can buy it with gold, correct?
When it releases, you can buy each wing with gold. It's 700 gold, I think, per wing. It's just, same as it was last time. But for the pre-order only, which gives you a special card back, you have to pre-order with real money.
That's how they're gonna get you.
Yeah. Luckily, I still have 2 Target gift cards from Christmas that I never used. And when the hell am I ever gonna buy anything at Target? So I'm just gonna go buy some BattleNet cards at Target with them. So
that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had a Target gift card right now. But good stuff to come from Hearthstone. Nice to know that the data mining was correct.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also kind of disappointed that the data mining, we were so close to PAX, and then the data mine stuff came out the week before. I don't know. That's just kind of upsetting. I want us to be able to go into an event and not know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like every year before BlizzCon, a month or even a couple of weeks before, we know what the expansion is going to be. All of a sudden, all this leaked info gets released.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to be able to go to an event for once and have absolutely no clue, and them just completely blindside us. Like when Hearthstone was originally announced, we had no clue Hearthstone was coming. Everybody was expecting Blizzard All-Stars, aka Heroes of the Storm.
Right.
And then Hearthstone came out, and everybody was like,
What the hell is this?
Hell is this? Nobody's gonna play this, and it's
Why are
turned
we
into a
doing card
huge
games?
game.
It's turned into probably one of their more successful, you know, I IPs ventures in the last, very long time actually.
Yeah.
Probably the quickest building up, new release.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. But yeah, I agree with you. I would like to be able to go into a convention, or even if I'm not going there, just be surprised by what they release and not know ahead of time. Like, okay, we know Blackrock Mountain's coming. It's probably going to include all this. We'll get
Like,
the fine details then.
Goblins and Gnomes kind of took us a little by surprise.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know Goblins and Gnomes, and that was amazing. I remember sitting there on BlizzCon going, Goblins and Gnomes? Like when that little jingle came on for the song, I was like bouncing in my chair.
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing. So when they still can pull that off and surprise us, it's good. But like, I don't know, everything, maybe a lot of that is we sit around here on podcasts and the like and analyze things too much, and there's that need to know kind of detail, but it feels like there's not many surprises left.
Yeah. It could possibly be.
Like, look at Heroes. Did we not already speculate almost exactly? Like, we thought, what, 3 heroes would be at 2 to 3 heroes? And
I was
we
hoping.
every single one of us unanimously agreed on Sylvanas.
Well, that's just because they showed a video and she looked like she was fully playable and complete.
Right.
And I'm guessing it was down to smoothing out animations, balancing, and fixing any nasty bugs that were still in it.
Yep.
Which is probably why she wasn't playable at BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, it makes sense. But that was announced, and then Cody even mentioned that the Spider King.
the Tomb of the Spider Queen,
Yeah,
which
Spider Queen.
we got both of those, and
Yeah. So before this event even started, we knew everything that was coming out of Heroes and Hearthstone.
well, here's the fine details of that, as mentioned. So here's the Storm stuff. PAX, they announced Sylvanas, and they even showed her off.
She looks badass.
She looks badass. She is a specialist still.
The poison that she has. What was it? Haunting Wave or something?
Shadow Dagger.
Shadow Dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is insane.
So this is what she can do. Her first ability, her Q, is Withering Fire. She rapidly shoots arrows at the closest enemy target for light damage, prioritizes heroes, has 5 charges. It has no animation wind up on its cast. You click the button and the arrow instantly fires out, no matter which direction you're moving. Now, you can cast this super fast, and one of the videos I saw showing off, she's running away in the jungle, and she's just like a ghostly image of her is turning around and just firing off an arrow, like bang, 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 bang. And if you kill somebody, all the charges will be replenished. It just says kills a target, so it could be minions too. I think it's minions too. The other one, Shadow Damage, what you mentioned, it throws dagger, deals light damage to the target, and then does moderate damage with a dot for around 3 seconds, and then it spreads to nearby targets, applying the dot to them.
It's crazy.
Nice amount of wave clear with that. The other is Haunting Wave. She sends a wave of banshees to deal damage to all targets in a targeted area. And then while it's going, she can reactivate it to teleport to the banshees, which is very nice. And this guy, I believe I read something that said there's going to be talents to apply stealth to her for the duration of the banshee's flight.
Mm-hmm.
Nice fake outs coming there. The 2 ultimates are, one is Wailing Arrow, shoots an arrow that then explodes, dealing AoE damage and silencing enemies for 2.5 seconds. I believe this is a global range ult, and you have to reactivate it to make the arrow explode. And then the other is Possession. You take control of an enemy minion or enemy mercenary, increasing their health and damage. The stronger the enemy is, the longer the cooldown's going to be. So if you take control of a weak little lane minion, I believe the cooldown is 10 seconds or even less. It's as short as a basic ability.
Right.
But if you take control of, a mercenary or something much stronger, you're going to have to wait a bit.
How long do you get control of them?
I believe it's permanent.
So you can control a grave golem?
I don't know if it's going to work on a grave golem. That seems like it would be borked. Because then Sylvanas becomes the main, the number 1 pick for any map involving a grave golem.
Right.
I don't think they're gonna let you do that.
It could put the thing on a cooldown for the rest of the map, though.
Put it on a 4-minute cooldown or something ridiculous. I don't know. They said that what do you call it? They said that it's not going to be a game-changing ultimate. It's not going to turn the tide of, a full-on team fight. It may give you a slight edge or a slight advantage, but it's going to be nothing crazy. Wailing Arrow will probably be the team fight swinger.
Yeah.
And other things they announced were the Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is a tight quarters map that is going to encourage staying in lane. Which, unlike the recently released Sky Temple, you're almost never in lane. I mean, you want to be in lane to soak experience, but you need to be mobile.
Right.
So it's kind of...
The whole Tomb of the Spider Queen map looks insane.
It looks amazing. There's some tidbits I read. It's going to have a lot of tight spaces and a lot of smoke and areas to hide, so it's going to be a great map for melee assassins. Mm-hmm. It's going to encourage staying in lane. You're going to kill minions to gather gems, which you can then be killed and the gems be dropped, but I believe the enemy team cannot pick up your gems. And you return the gems to bribe the Spider Queen to fight for you. I believe that's the gist of it.
Yeah, because I mean, it looks like it's close quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All the lanes are practically on top of each other,
yeah.
And it almost seems like if you're in the middle lane, you could see everything that's going on in the other two lanes.
Right. I like the idea of it. It's a ridiculously tight map because there are a couple of. I mean, Cursed Hollow's huge. Sky Temple's enormous.
That also makes you think outside the box and stuff for different map types. That are coming, maybe not a Blizzard sanctioned map, but maybe a map that user community or whatever creates.
Right.
Is there even a need for lanes? In certain maps there are, but could we make a map that doesn't have lanes at all? I think it's feasible somewhere.
It's feasible. They'd have to work around, because the reason you have lanes is for minions. You need to soak experience from them to get ahead. So they'd have to work something different out for a laneless map.
Yeah, but
it's a nice idea. Thinking outside the box with that.
It seems stuff like that is possible now because they're getting further and further away from the traditional stuff, especially stuff you would expect out of League. Where the game is kind of built around what you.
Well, you mentioned League, and that reminds me of their standard map, Summoner's Rift, is what we're used to. It's 3 lanes, a couple of turrets, and then the base. Makes me think of the map Dominion, for the Dominion game mode. It's the main lane is a circle around a jungle. There's 5 capture points you capture and hold, and while you hold a point, it will send minions at an enemy point to take it.
Right.
But if you don't capture it, it's going to do nothing. And then
I believe that's the map that we played Catch the Teemo on.
That is the map we played Catch the Teemo on.
See, I've played League. I know what's going on.
Yeah. But yeah, something like that. Think, like you mentioned, think outside the box. I would have never thought of a small map where the lanes are super close together. I don't think it would ever cross my mind.
No. But it is a nice contrast to the Egyptian themed one that they just released, which is extremely spread out.
Extremely spread out. You're going to be staying out of lanes often because of the 3 capture points and the, oodles of mercenaries. We'll go with oodles. That's a good word.
Oodles of noodles.
Oodles of noodles made out of sand in this case. Probably don't taste very good. Other things they announced for the game was improved UI changes. Certain things for the summary, like when you hold tab, there's going to be a couple new things showing up. Include, in addition to damage and healing done, there's going to be active CC time. So
that's good. I'm worried about them crowding too much information.
Right.
We have the World of Warcraft, we have the statistics tab and stuff, and it's nothing that's pertinent to what's going on currently actively in your raids and whatever, but that tab is extremely crowded, and then you get an add-on SCADA or Recount or something like that, and you're trying to go over stuff that's going on in the fight, and there's just so much unnecessary stuff in there that it's kind of cluttered.
I've been using SCADA for years, and I'm still to this day discovering things that it keeps track of.
Exactly.
There's so much data in there.
I'm worried that they say they're improving the UI to add more, because sometimes less is more.
Well, we've been shown that they listen to community feedback, so if something doesn't work, and, they'll take that into consideration and remove it. They already did it with the artifact system.
That's true.
I mean, it broke the game. Some people loved it, and for certain heroes it was a lot of fun, but from a competitive standpoint, no.
Yeah. I mean, the when they put that artifact system in, it kind of brought back to the league with the whole gearing and everything, and it's like
and stuff. Yeah,
that's why I like Hearthstone, is because there's none of that. It's just go in and fight. I don't have to worry about, it's not like it's. I remember talking about this in one of our early shows or whatever, but for like League, it's not like it's difficult to figure out whatever. But if you're not playing the game all the time and you're a casual person that comes in like I do, and you just want to come in for like 1 or 2 matches a week, and you don't research the game or anything outside of that, when you start it up, you got to go to the vendor, you got to buy this, then you got to go farm minions and fight in the lane, and then teleport back, and then go get an upgrade. And it's like, I don't want to do all this. I just want to fight. I want to play the game.
Right. They made the learning curve way easier for this because, in League, you have to level up your abilities. So which ones are the best to level up first? You have to get items that fit your champion. Some items are completely useless for some of them. Then you got to learn how to play your champion, which doesn't take that much time. Some of them are easier than others. But in order to be fully effective, you got to know what the other 100+ champions do in order to effectively combat them. And then, you got to play often to unlock the runes and masteries and the talents that are outside a game, and that's just a headache. But
yep.
This, they made that so easy. You have all your abilities at start. There's the talents. You only choose, 6 of them?
Mm-hmm.
Or 7 of them throughout the course of the game. And they still offer a huge variety of customization to each hero.
The thing that I was so excited about, and I'm sure you were, and Cody, all,
Probably.
When they announced that they're working on the system for the if you hit level 30.
Yes. As soon as they mentioned that, I was like, because I'm level 4.
I jumped out of my chair and fist bumped. I felt like I was in an episode of Jersey Shore.
So at one point in the development of the alpha, if you're completely clueless right now about what we're talking about, they introduced what is called talent gating. You start off with a hero at level 1. You only have access to 2 talent choices and 1 ultimate. Once you get to level 2, you get the second ultimate. Level 3, you get a 3rd talent choice from each tier. Level 4, you get all of them. In its initial system, it took 15 games to unlock all of it. Then they cut the experience down. Realistically, it takes 3 to 5 games to unlock it all now. But because the community still kind of doesn't like it, but Blizzard does like it, once you get to your account to level 30, they're going to remove the talent gating for your account. I think they figure
this is going to be nice for us, Mike. When we go in and we do, our matches, whatever, and what happens every time? Who do I always play?
You play Jaina.
Do you know why?
Because that's the only hero you have everything unlocked for.
There we go.
Since the last wipe.
So now, when this goes in, and we play, and there's new heroes in the hero rotation that I don't have, and we need support or something, I'm not going to be like, you know what, I can't, because I don't have everything unlocked. I'm going to be like, you know what, I can.
Well, I will credit Blizzard on this. A lot of heroes, the 2 talent choices you have are, for the most part, viable. Forget there was one hero where it was absolutely impossible to play effectively. No, not Lily. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. But for the most part, they're all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agreed with all the statistics they threw out. I think they nailed everything right on the head, and even their stat on the Lost Vikings, it seems very, very accurate to me.
Played well, the Lost Vikings are a complete game changer, because while the enemy team goes off to capture objectives, you're soaking the lanes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This was a fun announcement. Gold changes. It's been a complaint that, making gold throughout the game is kind of difficult. And, they've been listening to feedback. So at level 20, account level 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40, you're going to get 2,000 gold. If you get a hero to level 15... Oh, yeah, they made heroes go up to level 20 now instead of level 10.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a hero to level 15, you will get 1,250 gold, and you'll get 2,500 gold if you get into max level, which is going to be 20 now. Yeah. And all of these changes are retroactive. So if your account is level 40, you're going to get 10,000 gold thrown at you when this goes in.
Can't complain with that.
That's a master skin. Or, a couple of heroes.
Yeah.
And that's lovely. But yeah, that's nice right there. And while we're on heroes... For those of you who've watched us for a while, you know that we'll take Twitter questions or video questions, or at one point we took live callers, and we're working on getting that back. Right now we have a video question that is related to heroes. And let me make sure I don't mess this up. Here we go. This video question comes from Jaconator.
Hello, Battlethog. You know who it is. It's Jaconator calling live from the land of tomorrow. Wait, this is a video. Never mind that. I have a question for you guys, and surprisingly, it's not World of Warcraft related. I have started to play Heroes of the Storm with some of my friends again, and I reached level 10 and thought, why the heck can I not use my gold to buy the skin? Why does it have to be real life currency? Because, I got some gold to spare. I would really, really like to have a nice skin, a really cool one like the Meridian Candy King. Yeah. But while you think about that, I'll have some other stuff to attend to, so see you around and have fun.
And he disappears into the outhouse. Thank you, Jake. So his question was, for Heroes of the Storm, why can't you buy skins with gold?
He has some business to attend to.
He has some business to attend to.
Number 2. I think if there was... It's already hard enough to buy all the heroes with gold.
Right.
So...
And you can buy their master skins with gold. It's 10,000 gold, and that is the only way you can get them.
Right.
So there is that.
I'm on Jake's side here. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to buy them with gold, but it does not seem feasible with the amount of gold that you can earn right now.
Right. And, I mean, that's always kind of been the model for this. You've got to remember, this is a free-to-play game. They got to make their money somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you look at League of Legends, if you play the game enough, heroes you can buy with in-game currency. All their skins cost gold. I'm pretty sure... Well, not gold, money. Pretty sure all of them. Or you could take something like Smite. The name couldn't come to me. Smite has a system where certain skins you can buy with in-game currency. I think 1 or 2 skins for every god in that game you can buy with in-game currency, but the rest of them you need to pay real money. So maybe adopting a system like that, which they kind of already do with the master skin, but you got to get to hero level 10, so it's kind of a grind. And then that's 10,000 gold.
Yeah. If there was more ways to earn money in game,
well, they're putting that in now.
Yes, but I mean, that's still not a lot of gold when it comes down to it. It's 10,000 gold. That's what, 1 hero?
10,000 gold is 1 hero if you're after stitches or like that. When the new heroes come out, they're 15,000 gold. Some of them are 7, some are 4, some are 2. So
in some cases it's not even a full hero.
In some cases it's not. It's not a new hero. It's not enough for a new one.
Right. So, I mean, it's nice. I'm not going to say it's not. It's not, because it is. But when it comes down to it, it's still not a lot of gold, and it's not doing anything to help the consistent rate of which you earn gold. It's not increasing the gold per matches. It's not increasing the amount of quests that you get in a day, or anything like that. They could even go as far as adding like a weekly quest and just give us more gold for doing that. Have it be something that's a little more challenging that you can complete at the end of a week. If you don't complete it, it resets. Like, they could do things like that, but they don't. And until they do, it's not feasible. It's not. As much as I want it to be, it's just not.
And I have a daily quest right now that I haven't completed yet. It's play 8 games and it gives 800 gold.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's very nice.
That's very nice. And 8 games, it doesn't stay. You could play 8 practice games.
Yeah.
Nice
They
and quick.
they could very well do like, complete 50 games, put it on a weekly quest timer, and give you like 5,000 gold for it.
Yeah, that seems to be the going rate for the daily quest, 100 gold a game.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they could do that, and I would probably be playing a lot more than I already am.
Yeah,
And if they added skins you could buy with gold, I'd be playing almost every day.
right.
But
And
as
if
it
they
stands
added
right now,
skins that weren't, behind a level 10 wall for each hero.
even if there was like a set, like I would not be opposed to every character having one set of skins in the game that you could buy with gold,
Mm-hmm.
and just have it be cheap too. Have it be like, I don't know, 1,000 gold.
Right, and have it not be like personally, you look at the Zeratul skins, High Templar Zeratul, that's a skin. I mean, that's something I think you should be able to buy with gold.
Hmm.
It's one of the cheaper skins in the game, but
Or even if like every once in a while, like during one of the holidays, like the Winter's Veil or something like that, they took a random skin in the game and made it available for a certain gold price. They did it like once or twice a year. I don't see an issue with that.
yeah, even something like that. Gold sale for skins.
Hmm.
I like it. But yeah, Sylvanas, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Sylvanas is supposedly going in with the next content patch, but I don't know if the map is confirmed or not for the patch.
We have no clue how much gold she's going to be either. What's your guesstimation price range for her?
Oh, if she's probably going to be 15,000 gold, like the last, I think, 5 or 6 heroes when they were new.
Hmm.
So that's likely what she's going to start out as, and then they'll probably drop it to 10.
Guess who's going to buy her?
I know you are. Everybody is.
I don't care.
She's going to be one of those everybody buys. Also, I forgot to mention this. They announced they're starting a new tournament league. They're calling it Heroes of the Dorm.
Hmm.
And this is a college league. It is open to all those still active in college in the United States and Canada. Sign up will last till March 26th, and you will need a team of 5. You'll receive beta access once registration is completed for those who don't have it. Prizes include gaming gear and go all the way up to full college tuition for the winning team, which is very nice. And those not in colleges can set up their predictions starting April 3rd.
The thing that was the most interesting to me
Mm-hmm.
was the fact that they partnered with ESPN, and this is going to be broadcast on live television, on an actual TV network.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
This is a big deal. You don't see esports on actual sport network TV. ESPN, never. When have I don't think I've ever seen. I don't watch a lot of ESPN, to be honest, but I've never even heard of it.
I don't think I've ever heard of it on ESPN. Someone please prove me wrong, because again, like Dom said, I don't watch a lot of ESPN. But I mean, esports, it has the word sport in it,
It's a big step. It's a big step.
It
Like,
is a
this
very
is
big
for a
step.
great cause. The prizes are amazing. Like, full college tuition. Like, you
take
gotta be out of your mind if you're
I
a
would've
college
taken
student
it.
and you're not trying this. I don't even care if you're terrible at video games.
I wish that this was a thing when I was in college.
Yeah. WoW Blink Twice says that Magic the Gathering tournaments are sometimes on ESPN, and that's cool. That's an awesome step, but that's still not a video game.
Right, exactly. This is going to be a video game tournament.
Yeah,
That's gonna
huge.
be fun.
huge.
Um,
Now I want to. They need a. I think ESPN needs a gaming sport network and just broadcast nothing but Hearthstone. And I don't think that channel would ever leave my TV.
yeah, I would watch I would watch. I would watch a hell of a lot more TV if that was the case.
My TV is right here. I just turn here and there's TV. Boom. ESPN. Hearthstone. That's what I want.
I mean, you want to see? There's my TV. There's Dom's face on my TV.
I was waving to me.
I know you were waving to you.
I didn't wave back though. You turned it too fast.
Sorry. You want to wave back? No, we'll do that later.
I must be just an asshole or something. I didn't wave back to myself.
Delay makes you a jerk. Anyway, that's the hero stuff from PAX and lately. Moving on, there's a little bit of Diablo stuff. Mostly quality of life changes coming in, such as when you pick up a gem, all gems will now automatically be picked up, and same with crafting mats. That's pretty nice, because, you know, standing there clicking on crafting materials was a pain in the ass. And blood shard cap can be increased by 10 for achieving personal best and greater rifts.
I mean, a lot of the Diablo is all personal loot, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah, I guess that stuff makes sense. Back in, like, Diablo 2, because I realize I haven't played a whole lot of Diablo 3 still. Mm-hmm. But, like, that was the whole thing in Diablo 2, is you had to be a fast clicker.
Right.
Items dropped, and if you didn't pick it up, somebody else is going to get it.
Right, and this... I mean, this is, like, you know, some monsters drop a crap ton of crafting materials. So
I was about to rage when you're like, oh, all gems will be picked up now when you pick one up. I was like, what? And then I was, yeah, never mind, it's personal loot.
It's
so
all personal.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yep. And quick question for that: do you like? I mean, you know, you don't play a lot of Diablo. I haven't played a lot of Diablo, you know, recently. And you know, do you like these changes? And the addition to that is, do you think WoW could use some more quality of life changes, like, you know, like this? You know, you can increase your blood shard cap by achieving personal best and greater rift. So something like extending your Apexis crystals cap by completing challenge modes, or something like, you know, of the
I think that would be terrible because I can't even finish a challenge mode as it is. But I have to put some time in. Yeah. But I feel like there's a lot of stuff that WoW can learn from other games, and especially this was a big thing that they talked about in the Hearthstone panel is they were talking about the UI and stuff like that, and how the game is essentially one giant UI, and they really realized that when switching to the mobile thing, and they showed us some pictures from the mobile and how the UI had changed for that, and it still looks really good, and all the information is still on the screen, and it looks great, and it's in internal alpha right now. All the Blizzard employees are playing that, and then they realize that a lot of that is starting to bleed over, and you get the people on WoW looking at, oh, this UI really helped and simplified things, and we're starting to see that reflected in tooltips and various things, and we're seeing a lot of the add-ons and stuff people are coming out with, especially UI improvements, are bleeding into WoW. So, of course, WoW's always going to need quality of life changes, and it's going to continue to adapt. And every expansion that gets released is the perfect time to do major ones like that. You're not going to see a lot of them, I don't think, during minor patches and stuff in the middle of an expansion. So, I'm more curious. Instead of quality of life changes, I'm more curious to see what the next big game-breaking change is going to be for WoW. Or not game-breaking, but game-changer. Because every expansion we get one.
Yeah, we do.
And it's just like, what are
they going to do after Garrisons?
You know, I couldn't... When they announced Flex rating and Mythic and all, I was like, wow. You know, like all that stuff.
Flex rating was great.
It was.
It is still great. I mean, we use it every week.
Yep, we certainly do.
We don't need a static raid size anymore. Like what we have, we'd either be sitting 7 or 8 people every week, or not raiding. Yeah. We need to recruit more people to bring it up to 25. Now it doesn't matter. Some weeks we go at 16, others we have 22.
Yep.
So,
or then after the raid's over, if we're done for the week, and some of us want to continue on, we'll go with 6, and we'll get pugs in and finish it out, and it's great.
Yeah, the whole thing's great. So we got some stuff released here. Well, not even released. A couple of players have been really, really lucky with legendary quest drops, and they're done. They've got their 710 ring, and they're done with this current leg of the quest. And Dom, did you watch any of the spoilerific stuff?
I did.
Okay, so did I.
I typically don't, but I did this time.
So we're going to talk about that real quick. If you don't want to be spoiled, go away. You'll see me waving like a lunatic in about a minute. So, what happened is, the Legendary Quest line, there's a cinematic that happens where Gul'dan walks into the Iron Horde's main camp, confronts Grom Hellscream, some shit goes down, he binds Grom against the wall, Kilrog drinks the demon blood by his own choice, and Gul'dan takes control of the Iron Horde. And this isn't even the next patch, that is in this patch right now, when you complete the Legendary Quest line.
Yeah. And here's the thing that I'm actually, so this is part of the going back to no surprises left and stuff. This is stuff that
This is a surprise!
an expansion ago would have been data mined as soon as the patch dropped.
Oh, they data mined the the fact that Garrosh was the final boss of Mists almost a year.
That wasn't data mined, that was given out.
That was given out, right.
Yeah.
We
But
knew that.
This isn't data mined.
No.
This is somebody had to have completed the quest chain to get to this part. They got really lucky with the drops out of Blackrock Foundry. They got their 3 tablets done. They proceeded on and finished the quest chain. They killed Blackhand, et cetera, et cetera. And this cinematic only became available then.
Yep, and it's pretty good. So the question is, how does this affect your predictions on how the expansion's going to turn out?
All bets are off.
All bets are off. And we will discuss this more at a later date. But yeah, all bets are off because we thought Gul'dan was going to be one of the final bosses. We're probably right.
They didn't say that. They said that there's going to be a surprise boss.
Oh, no. They didn't say that. I was saying that's what we were predicting. Gul'dan would be one of the final bosses. And the monitor shaking is my cat trying to walk on it.
It was originally Gromosh, right? Is that who they said the final boss is going to be? And then they retcon that, saying that the final boss is going to be a surprise.
Yep.
So,
well, I can't see a thing.
You have hands?
I have a really fat cat. There she goes. Get out of here. Go. Shoo. Come on.
You have hands, you can pick her up.
She's gone. Anyway, that's that. Waving like a ninny. That was more than, a minute. I'm sorry, everybody. Like anybody turned away. So, 6.2 is when?
Now.
No. The speculation is that it'll either drop in June or August.
Well, it just dropped, 2 weeks ago?
6.1?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to say June. Because if we're going off the same model that we went off of Pandaria, and there's no reason to think anything differently, 2 months for the minor patch, 4 months for the major patch.
Okay.
And we had when this patch came out, when? 2 weeks ago. So this expansion came out the end of November, so I'm going to round that up to December. Right? December, January, February is 2 months. End of February this came out. That's still 2 months. We're still on track for where we were with Pandaria. So 4 months from now would place us in June.
Yep, that works. And that leads to this question. Does that give Raiders enough time to get there ahead of the curve achievements? I especially say for heroic mode.
Well, yeah, ahead of the curve is only in heroic mode. So, yeah, I think it's plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean, we're 5 out of 10 right now. That's
5 out of 10 heroic. We're what, 7 out of 10 normal? 8 out of 10 normal.
So that gives us plenty of time to finish both of them out. I mean, I would much rather have till August, but I guess June works. And what do you think? What's your ideal length of a raid tier?
6 months. That's more or less what this is, because don't forget, High Mall is still technically this raid tier.
High Mall is technically this raid tier, and still kind of a challenge.
And we got it got trickled, it got waterfalled out, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think the next one. I don't think it's going to be split over two instances. I think it's going to be one massive instance of say 14 to 16 bosses.
Right. They always, the last few expansions, they've done that. You know, they've started the expansion with a couple of raids in there, like, you know, Mogashan Vaults, Heart of Fear, and Terrace of, you know, Endless Spring. In this case, Mogashan, I almost said it again, High Mall and Blackrock Foundry. So we'll probably get one instance. I don't know if it's going to be 14 bosses, huge like that.
I don't see why not.
Maybe like 12.
Foundry's 12.
Foundry's 10.
Oh yeah, whatever.
High Mall was
It's still
7, yeah.
Still 10 bosses to 12 bosses. A whole tier is only gonna. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to see. I'd like to see it, another waterfall kind of thing. What I would like to see is a winged instance, kind of like you know, Naxxramas or something like that.
Something,
and have
yeah.
the wings trickle out. And be like, only this wing is open this week. Next week, this wing opens, and
I got you.
you know, kind of like LFR is doing, but
Yeah, because technically, you know, Blackrock Foundry is kind of a winged instance.
but I mean, like, look at it from High Mall and Foundry. There's still kind of there's the same tier, but it was waterfalled out. So we did High Mall for a while, and then, you know, coming into Blackrock, it seems all fresh. It's new. It's exciting. If we were doing both simultaneously, like we're going in, oh, let's clear up to, we kill, you know, Chromog up in High Mall, but you know the Imperator's too difficult. Let's go do Groll and Orgorger and Hans and Franz, and you know, it's just like, it doesn't feel the same anymore. But now it really feels like two separate tiers, even though it's the same one. So if they were to stagger that out for the next tier, it would be very refreshing. Even if they didn't give us two instances, they gave us one big instance, and half of it was closed off for the first month or two. Like, that would still be exciting.
Yeah, that would work for me. I personally enjoyed this because I didn't feel like I was rushed, especially through High Mall. I mean, I mean,
technically, we still didn't finish High Mall. We're 6 out of 7 heroic in High Mall.
Right, and we cleared normal. We mostly cleared heroic. That's all I could ask for. I was happy with that.
Yeah.
LFR has opened Wing 3 of Blackrock Foundry this week, actually today. The third wing is Beastlord Darmak, Operator Thogar, and the Iron Maidens.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was so busy today that I did not get a chance to jump into that LFR wing, because I'm very curious how Maidens and Chromog are going to work after, or Operator, after seeing how Chromog worked.
Right. Beastlord is going to be pretty easy, I think. I mean, you're going to probably get a lot of people getting hit by spears. But as far as the fight goes, I don't think there'll be any issues, because Beastlord's one of the easier fights in there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Thogar. From what I understand, trains don't insta-kill you on LFR. But I have a feeling people will get hit with multiple trains in a row.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I try to do best, and that's die like I do in every time I go into LFR. My goal is to try to die. I'm intentionally trying to die. I want to see how difficult it is to die. So, it was very easy on Chromog, and that wasn't even intentional. But the other bosses, like Orgorger, it was almost impossible for me to die.
And on normal and heroic, it's very easy to die on Orgorger.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I'm gonna see how, like, the turrets for Iron Maidens. I'm gonna stand on top of the turret and see what that does. You know.
So for Iron Maidens, I'm curious just how that whole going over to the boat phase is gonna work. Is it going to automatically send people like it did for Kargath's for the stands? Or are you going to have to choose people? And how much damage are those bombs going to do during the bombardment phase? But, so you mentioned Chromog. You were just easy to die on. Well, they hotfixed it today. His Stone Breath and his Thundering Clap ability, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, no, they Grasp. As long as the hands are holding you, they both do less damage now.
See, but that's not the problem.
That's not the problem. The problem
is the hands don't have enough health.
Right.
That's the problem. You can kill the hands before he even throws anybody up in the air.
Right. You can kill the hands well before he starts throwing people up in the air. And you're going to you get all these try-hard hunters like, oh, I want to be top of the damage meters. I'm going to barrage the second I can. And You get 3 hunters who do that. By the time their barrages are over, 10 people are broken out of their hands, and half the raid wipes.
And the big issue with this is the more you wipe on it, the more stacks of deterrence you get, which increases the amount of damage you do, which only makes it happen faster.
Yeah. Because more health and more healing is not going to help you survive, because those Thundering Hands do a ton of damage, and they throw you up into the air to where you take lethal fall damage. That's fun. Anyway, Wing 3, open. Well, I think enjoy ourselves. And we're mentioning Gromog. We do our little lore segment each week on each boss in Blackrock Foundry. Last week we did Flamebender. This week is Gromog. So this is from the Dungeon Journal entry on Gromog, who is a Magnaron, by the way, if you couldn't tell. The Magnaron are mysterious in their ways, ancient and inscrutable. Miners excavating an expansion to the foundry in support of the Iron Horde's massive production needs were horrified to unearth a chamber containing a living Magnaron. To their astonishment, Gromog began to assist in their endeavors, and now uses his massive stone fists to hammer out the gigantic plates needed for the Iron Horde's dreadnoughts and siege machinery. So basically, they're digging into the mountain, and they found the one thing that could truly fuck up their operation.
But he didn't. I don't even.
For like,
why is he going to help them?
I don't know. Lore-wise, the Magnaron are like the most powerful forces on Draenor. You know, one Magnaron, I forget what it was. Thing questing in Frostfire, I think Duratan or one of the Frostwolf orcs mentions how, you know, it would take thousands of orcs to bring one down. Like, they would lose thousands of warriors in the attempt to kill one. So the poor orc who, you know, first broke into that cave must have shat himself instantaneously. But why? Yeah, see, we go over the boss's motivations for being there. I don't get it.
It seems like they couldn't be bothered with explanation. And they're just like, oh yeah, so he's here. Let's just... Okay, so he was here the whole time. Okay, okay. Now I understand why you're in there. But why are you helping? You could just, instead of be like, oh, he's helping, you just be like, he's destroying anybody who comes into the cave that was built. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's helping them, I don't know.
You want to talk about lazy and not explaining?
It's not lazy.
No,
it's not lazy because, like, they could have just said, hey, look, it's. I think more of a lazy answer is he's just trying to defeat anybody that comes into the cavern.
Right.
That's more of a lazy answer to me. However, it
This
has
leaves
more
mystery.
explanation behind it than this one does. So
Right. What I was trying to say is, you want lack of explanation? Go back in the Dungeon Journal of Blackwing Descent and look at the entry for Chimeron. It just says, I think it just says, hideous, ugly, evil. Kill it. That's it. All the other bosses in there have a good amount of, you know, lore and story behind them. That one just says, bah, kill.
I mean that is why you get the title Slayer of Stupid.
That's not even him. That's
Disappointed
Baloriak.
minions. Oh yeah, that's true.
But Gromog, big Magnaron. You gotta look over the cliff to see his feet. He's really tall. And he's there. And while he's there, maybe pounding metal into different shapes is fun for him. Like, he gets some kind of odd pleasure out of doing that. I don't know. But he's there. Next week we'll be moving on to the other wing and start with Feast Lord? Do we do him already? I don't remember. But I believe that's about that. Oh, I think we have one Twitter question here. We do have a Twitter question. This is from at Wraithfey, also known as Sarah. So you called it with Hearthstone. What's next? Oh yeah, we did the prediction that Hearthstone was going to be out when it's coming out. We did call that. You called that, or did Cody call that?
I called it
didn't.
because of
You did.
PAX announcements.
Right.
It's just the way that they've been doing that.
our Overwatch prediction was a little off.
Dare I say, if we're talking in terms of Hearthstone, dare I say the next Hearthstone expansion is announced at this BlizzCon?
At the rate they're going, definitely. Yeah. When was Curse of Naxxramas released? Around this time last year? Or was it this summer?
It was announced at PAX.
Right. So there seemed to be going in a pattern. You get an adventure and you get an expansion. Then you get an adventure and an expansion. Over the course of a year, you get one adventure and one expansion. That's a nice pattern. I hope they keep that up.
Right, and like I was originally like when I was saying, next adventure would be really cool, it would be Old War. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, we already had an expansion filled with mechs, and Old War is full of mechs. We don't need any more mechs. So it's like it's got to be something different. And I called that just before Blackrock Mountain. Any details on that were out. So I kind of knew it wasn't going to be Old War as much as it fit. And I'm gonna even go a bold step further and say the next adventure is going to be Karzhan.
I'll take it. I'll go with it. I like that. Karzhan is iconic. They could do some, have some fun encounters in there.
Yeah. Oh, that was another thing. Chris in chat says he wants a Death Knight and Monk heroes in Hearthstone, and there was a lot of discussion actually during the UI panel, and they're like, if we ever brought another thing in, because they like everything all even, and it's got the 9 heroes, and they're in 3 rows of 3, and it's perfect, and they said they kind of shoot themselves in the foot if they ever design another hero. Like they throw another one in there because it's gonna be audible. But what they said is they don't worry about that when they make it. When they make it, they design it all sleek and everything to look nice for now.
Mm-hmm.
When it has to change, they'll change it, and then they'll have to figure it out and worry about it then. So that hero screen is going to look a lot different when and if they decide to add a Death Knight or a Monk. I 100% feel that they are needed, but right now, I don't think so. I think they still have time, and I don't want to see. I want to see them come in order, so I do. I want to see a Death Knight before the Monk, obviously, but I don't think we're gonna. I'm not gonna say we're not gonna get it for this expansion, but I don't think we're gonna get it until the expansion following.
I dig it.
I don't think there's a need for it right now.
Alrighty.
There's a want. There's definitely a want.
Oh, there's a want. It would be nice.
So.
All right. That about wraps things up, unless you got something that I completely missed.
No, the only thing that was kind of noteworthy for me was the watching the presentation.
Right.
For PAX, their computers crashed.
Right.
So they didn't really have anything super specific to talk about. So they just ad-libbed and started winging, and they actually talked about StarCraft 2 for a bit, and that was not even supposed to be part of their presentation. And they started talking about the campaign and how the campaign was amazing, and like it got me really pumped, and I have to go back and I have to play.
You've been saying that for a while now.
But it's gotten me even more like I really want to. It's just I got the time to do it.
They are great campaigns. The story in them is fantastic. And yeah, I like them a lot, and I want Legacy of the Void.
I will at some point. It's probably going to be more toward the summer, so give it like another month and a half before I even be able to hammer down an actual time of when I can sit down and do this. But I will be streaming all of them right here on this Twitch channel. So
very good. Well, there you go. And like I said, that's our show. So, Dom, where can they find you?
You can find me down below at Xizta, XIZTA with an underscore at the end. You can also find me and Mike on ASO TV podcast on YouTube.
Yep.
Where we just got through recording a really awesome show we did discussing the Power Rangers fan film bootleg universe that was released, and kind of the repercussions that's had across the entire internet, stuff like that. It was actually a lot of fun. Had a blast doing it.
It was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, and a lot of the shows are starting to come back. So we only got 3 more episodes of The Walking Dead and Once Upon a Time just came back, so those are probably the most fun podcasts we have until Gotham and the Flash come back. But yeah.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of fun on those. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But I'm not on that, so that's not fun.
You fill in occasionally. Yeah, you can find me where he said on YouTube, and you can also find me on Twitter at Philodrin and on Twitch at Philodrin. Hopefully finding some time to stream some more stuff. I want to get back into streaming Heroes and whatever else takes my fancy. And you can find us here on Twitch TV/Zista every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And on YouTube, what's the channel? Dead Zista?
Dead Zista.
Right, you could find us there. You could find the recordings, all these episodes uploaded there. Thank you for watching, everybody. And I forgot which button. Oh, yeah. The long transition. I should just name it long transition.
You should.
And that was a very short one.
Very short, long transition.
A very short, long transition.
Long leap.